Well, mining giant Rio Tinto says it has received approval from Guinean and Chinese authorities to develop the $17.2 billion Simandou iron ore project in West Africa. Joining me now is business reporter Ed Boyd. So, Ed, the first production in 2025.
2025, so next year, and obviously you'd expect it to be at the very back end of that calendar year. But this Simandou iron ore project in West Africa has been basically a project of Rio Tinto's for a couple of decades now. They've had serious issues with government problems with Guinea. There's been changes of government there, which have caused issues with mining tenements. They've had big deals with basically Chinese partners as well over the last 20 years or so. But finally, they've now got full approval to get this mine up and running. And it's been billed in some media as the Australian iron ore killer because it's obviously cheap iron ore from West Africa being shipped directly to Chinese customers, and it's high-grade iron ore as well. We've got a little table just giving you a basic breakdown of what's involved in getting this mine up and running, and it's actually four different mining sites around the one big tenement. You need 600 k's though of railway line needs to be built to get from the port, which also needs to be built, to the mine in Guinea.
How you doing?
It's also expected to produce 120 million tonnes of iron ore per year once it's fully up and running. Next year, it's not going to be up and running at full capacity, so it's going to take some time to get to that level. But the expected cost in Australian dollars is $17.2 billion in investment. Now, that's the cost that's going to be split across a range of partners that are involved in the project. So Rio Tinto is obviously one. There's a big Singaporean maritime-based company that will help build the port, is another big partner. Then there's a couple of the biggest steel manufacturers out of China, Chinalco and Baowu, are also really involved in this project too. So it's taken a long time to get it up off the ground. There's now, according to the stock market filing today, there's about 8,500 staff working on the mine site right now, slowly getting it up and running. But it's going to take basically all of this year and most of next year to get the railway line built and the port. That's obviously the most important thing to get this thing going. So this has been a pretty significant step. We were expecting this news in December last year, but it has been delayed until now. But they've now got the full approvals from the Guinean government and the Chinese government. And we'll have to see what impact this has on the Australian mining sector once the mine is up and running late next year, Tom.
Okay, and the other news out of Rio Tinto, we know those rivers of red gold will keep it ticking, but iron ore production dropped due to a train derailment.
Yeah, train derailment up in the Pilbara happened in the middle of May this year, and obviously Rio Tinto own all their rail infrastructure. I think they've got between 50 and 60 driverless trains that ship a lot of the iron ore from the mines to the port at Dampier and various other places on the coast there. And one of the trains was forced into a derailment. Basically, Rio Tinto said today that it cost them 6 days worth of railway time or transit time getting things from the mines to the ports. So that caused issues for them with their full year production, their 6-monthly production. You can see here, though, the market has opened. It's basically flat in early trade. We did see US shares lifted last night. Aussie stock market not doing too much at the moment. But just on Rio Tinto, in that 6 months, they did ship about 80 million tonnes of iron ore. That was about 2% lower than the previous half year. But they're a little bit under the level they were hoping to produce over the next 12 months. So Rio production down a little bit. Their share price may potentially fall a little bit this morning off the back of that news. But overall, the big story, though, the Simandou project is up and running, and it's going to start making iron ore from the end of next year, Tom.
Yeah, all right. More rivers of that red gold. Ed, thank you.